Hi, my name is Lucy, and I live in a cozy apartment in the heart of London with two amazing roommates, Maria from Spain and Ken from Japan. Living together has been such an adventure because both Maria and Ken are learning English, and I've been helping them along the way. Lucy smiled as she sat on the edge of the sofa, gesturing toward the open kitchen. Last week, Maria had a great idea. Let's have a cultural dinner night, she said. The plan was simple. She would cook her favorite Spanish dish, and Ken would prepare something traditional from Japan. I decided to let them take charge while I helped them practice their English. The apartment was buzzing with excitement that evening. Maria, Ken, and I share so many laughs because we don't just learn about each other's cultures, we learn through the mistakes too, Lucy said, her tone light and encouraging. But trust me, even the simplest things can turn into challenges when language barriers get in the way. Maria emerged from her room holding a colorful cookbook. Lucy, she said with a slightly nervous smile, how do I say I need things for cooking? Lucy grinned. You could say, I need ingredients for cooking. Repeat after me. Ingredients. Ingredients, Maria repeated slowly, her Spanish accent adding a musical touch. Perfect. Now, what's on your list? Lucy asked. Maria hesitated for a moment, flipping through the pages. Tomatoes, onions, olive oil, and, pepino? Lucy chuckled. Pepino is cucumber in English. Ken joined the conversation, holding his phone. I'll make miso soup, but I need, tofu and seaweed. He looked at Lucy for confirmation. That's perfect, Ken, Lucy said, giving him a thumbs up. All right, Maria, why don't you head to the market for your ingredients? It's a great chance to practice your English. Maria nodded, determination in her eyes. Yes, I will go. Can you help me with the words? Lucy spent a few minutes practicing with Maria, teaching her useful phrases like, can I help you? And how much is this? Before Maria grabbed her tote bag and left for the market. As Maria walked out the door, Lucy turned to Ken. Do you think she managed? Ken smiled. I think she will learn even if she makes mistakes. Lucy laughed. Exactly. Mistakes are just part of the journey. The bustling streets of London were alive with energy as Maria made her way to the local market. She held her tote bag tightly and repeated the phrases Lucy had taught her under her breath. Can I help you? How much is this? Do you have cucumbers? She whispered, trying to sound confident. The market was colorful and lively, with vendors calling out to passers-by in different languages. Maria's eyes darted from stall to stall as she practiced the names of the vegetables in her head. Tomatoes, onions, olive oil. Cucumbers, she said softly. Approaching a vegetable stand, Maria smiled at the vendor, an older man with a friendly face. Hello. Do you have cucumbers? The vendor looked at her, slightly confused. Cucumbers? Oh, yes, over there. He pointed to a corner of the stand. Maria walked over, but something didn't seem right. The long green vegetables she expected weren't there. Instead, she saw round orange ones. Cucumbers? She asked again, picking one up. The vendor nodded. Yes, cucumbers. 2 for £1 today. Maria hesitated but decided not to question it. She paid for the cucumbers and added them to her bag, feeling proud of her first successful transaction. I did it, she thought, smiling to herself. On her way back home, Maria practiced the words again: cucumbers, tomatoes, olive oil. When she arrived at the apartment, Lucy and Ken were waiting in the kitchen. How was it? Lucy asked eagerly. Maria grinned, placing the bag on the counter. It was good. I said, do you have cucumbers? And I bought them. Ken looked curious as Maria pulled out the vegetables. The moment she placed the orange produce on the counter, Lucy burst out laughing. Maria, Lucy said between giggles, these aren't cucumbers. These are pumpkins. Maria's face turned red. Pumpkins? But the man said. Ken picked one up, inspecting it with a small smile. Pumpkin soup? He suggested. Lucy took a deep breath to regain her composure. It's okay, Maria. Mistakes happen. Let's go over this. Cucumber is long and green. Pumpkin is round and orange. Say it with me, cucumber. Cucumber, Maria repeated, her voice full of determination. Pumpkin, Lucy said. Pumpkin, Maria echoed, this time laughing along with her friends. Ken nodded. It's okay, Maria. We make soup. Pumpkin soup is very good. Lucy smiled, patting Maria on the shoulder. See? You learned something new today. And now we have a creative twist to our dinner. The kitchen was a flurry of activity as Maria and Ken started preparing their dishes. Lucy stood nearby, ready to assist and correct their English when needed. Maria carefully unpacked the groceries, lining up tomatoes, onions, and the now infamous pumpkins on the counter. Ken looked at the ingredients with curiosity. Pumpkin soup is good idea, he said, holding up a pumpkin. Maria laughed. Okay, I will make soup with pumpkin and tomatoes. It will be interesting. Lucy smiled, watching as the two worked together. Remember, this is also about practicing your English. Maria, how do you ask Ken for the knife? Maria paused, thinking hard. Ken. Can you pass me the knife? She asked slowly. Ken nodded and handed her the knife. Here, knife. Perfect, Lucy cheered. Now, Ken, how do you ask Maria for the bowl? Ken hesitated, looking at Maria. Maria, can you give me the bowl? Maria handed him the bowl, smiling. Yes, here is the bowl. As the cooking continued, the kitchen turned into a stage for hilarious misunderstandings. Ken, stir the soup, please, Maria instructed while chopping onions. Ken froze, holding the spoon. Midair. Stop the soup? He asked, confused. No, stir. Move the spoon like this, Maria demonstrated, laughing. Lucy stepped in, holding up a hand. Okay, let's go over this. Stir means to mix something with a spoon like this. She demonstrated the motion with her hand. Repeat after me. Stir. Stir, Ken said slowly, imitating the motion. Great. Now, Maria, how do you ask Ken to stir again? Lucy prompted. Maria smiled, confident this time. Ken, can you stir the soup, please? Yes, Ken said enthusiastically, stirring the pot with exaggerated movements that made everyone laugh. The miscommunications didn't stop there. Maria tried to say, "Let's taste the soup," but Ken misheard her as saying, "Let's waste the soup." Waste? Ken asked, looking horrified. No, taste. Maria exclaimed, shaking her head. Lucy stepped in again, her voice calm and patient. Taste means to try the food to see how it is. Waste means to throw it away. Say it with me. Taste. Taste. Ken repeated, nodding. And now waste. Waste, he said, understanding the difference. After an hour of teamwork, corrections, and laughter, the dishes were finally coming together. Maria had turned the pumpkins into a flavorful soup, and Ken's miso soup was simmering beautifully on the stove. Okay, one last thing, Lucy said, clapping her hands. Maria, how do you say Ken? Can you taste the soup? Maria looked at Ken, her voice steady. Ken, can you taste the soup? Ken took a small spoonful, his face lighting up. Good, very good. The kitchen erupted in cheers, the three of them celebrating the success of their combined efforts. The table was set with steaming bowls of pumpkin soup, miso soup, and a loaf of crusty bread that Lucy had picked up earlier. The three friends sat down, the warm aromas filling the apartment. This looks amazing, Lucy said, smiling as she poured water into their glasses. Maria, Ken, great job. Now, let's practice some phrases while we eat. Maria, how would you describe your soup in English? Maria hesitated, looking at her bowl. It is orange and it tastes good? Perfect start, Lucy said, encouraging her. You can also say, this tastes delicious, or it has a creamy texture. Try it. Maria nodded, repeating slowly. This tastes delicious. It has creamy texture. Ken, curious, took a spoonful of the pumpkin soup. Delicious. Very good. Maria beamed at the compliment. Thank you, Ken. And your soup is also delicious. Thanks, Ken replied, his accent soft but clear. It has salty taste. Nice, Lucy said, giving him a thumbs up. You can also say it's savory. That's a good word to describe salty, but in a positive way. Say it with me, savory. Savory, Ken repeated carefully. As they continued eating, the conversation turned to their cultures. Ken explained the significance of miso soup in Japanese meals, using simple English. In Japan, we eat miso soup every day. Morning, lunch, dinner. It is traditional. That's so interesting, Lucy said, encouraging him to elaborate. What ingredients do you use? Ken thought for a moment. Tofu, seaweed, miso paste, and sometimes vegetables. Maria chimed in, sharing about Spanish soups. In Spain, we have gazpacho. It is cold soup with tomatoes, cucumbers, and garlic, very good in summer. That sounds amazing, Lucy said. Now, here's a challenge for both of you. Try to describe these dishes in 3 sentences. Maria took a deep breath. Gazpacho is a cold soup. It has tomatoes, cucumbers, and garlic. We eat it in summer. Lucy clapped her hands. Excellent, clear and simple. Ken went next, pointing to his bowl. Miso soup is hot. It has tofu, seaweed, and miso paste. In Japan, we eat it every day. Well done. Lucy said, "You both did a fantastic job describing your food." As they continued talking, Lucy encouraged them to try more conversational phrases. Ken, if you want more soup, how would you ask? Ken thought for a moment. Can I have more soup, please? Perfect, Lucy said, passing him the pot. And Maria, if you want to compliment Ken's cooking, what could you say? Maria smiled at Ken. Your soup is very good. I like it. Ken grinned. Thank you, Maria. The dinner continued with laughter and light-hearted practice. By the end of the meal, all 3 felt closer, not just as friends but as teammates on the journey of learning. After dinner, the trio moved to the living room. Their plates and bowls cleared away. The warm glow of the evening lingered as they sat on the couch, sipping cups of tea. Lucy leaned back, looking at Maria and Ken with a proud smile. So, how do you both feel about tonight? She asked, her voice calm and encouraging. Maria was the first to speak. I feel happy. I learned new words, and I think my soup was okay? She laughed nervously. Your soup was more than okay, Maria, Lucy assured her. And look at how confidently you're speaking. Now, Ken nodded in agreement. Maria, your English is good. And the pumpkin soup was very delicious. Maria smiled shyly. Thank you, Ken. Your miso soup was very savory. Lucy clapped her hands together. See? You're both using new words we practiced tonight. That's amazing progress. Ken sipped his tea thoughtfully. I think learning English is like making soup. Little by little, we add ingredients. Lucy's eyes lit up. That's such a beautiful metaphor, Ken. Yes, exactly. You add vocabulary, practice speaking, and little by little, it all comes together. Maria looked at Lucy. Lucy, thank you for helping us. You make learning fun. Lucy felt a wave of warmth at the sincerity in Maria's voice. You're welcome, Maria, but honestly, you and Ken are helping me too. I get to learn about your cultures and how you see the world. It's a two-way street. Ken nodded, looking thoughtful. In Japan, we say, many drops make a river. He paused, searching for the right words. Small practice every day makes us better. Lucy beamed. That's such a lovely saying, Ken, and it's true. Consistency is the key to learning any language or anything in life, really. The 3 of them sat in a comfortable silence for a moment, sipping their tea and reflecting on the evening. Finally, Lucy broke the silence. Okay, before we wrap up tonight, let's do a quick review. Maria, how do you say pepino in English? Maria grinned. Cucumber. Perfect. And Ken, how do you ask? For something politely? Ken responded confidently. Can I have more, please? Exactly. You both nailed it. Lucy set her cup down, feeling a deep sense of satisfaction. I'm so proud of you both. Tonight wasn't just about cooking, it was about learning and growing together. Maria smiled, her voice soft but sure. I think we are a good team. Ken added with a small laugh, team with good food. Lucy laughed, raising her teacup like a toast. To good food, good friends, and learning. Together. They clinked their cups in a cheerful toast, the room filled with warmth and laughter.